The women's tennis Paris Olympics gold medal match is set, and the overwhelming favorite Iga Swiatek will not be playing in it. Not many people saw this coming, I'm sure. Hey, my name is Christian Bassnight, and welcome to Christian's Court, where I cover tennis from all angles. If you have not yet already, make sure you all subscribe and click the notification bell so you're notified whenever I post more Olympics content like this. Now, yes, Iga Swiatek, she suffered one of the biggest shocks in recent Olympics tennis history after losing to China's Qinwen Zheng 6-2, 7-5 for her first loss at the Roland Garros venue in over 3 years. Somehow, I'm both surprised and not surprised with this result. Of course, Iga was the big favorite, massive favorite to take the gold in the singles, being the queen of clay and the 3-time reigning Roland Garros champion. And even more so, she had never lost to Zheng in their 6 previous matches and was the far fresher of the two, seeing that the Chinese woman came into this match playing back-to-back 3-hour-plus matches. But then again, I had a feeling that Iga just would not be going home with that gold medal because I just was not impressed by her form throughout the tournament. And I thought that she was going to lose or was kind of close to losing to Danielle Collins in that quarterfinal before that injury impacted Collins. And of course, the momentum shift aided the Polish woman. I also felt that the pressure and the expectation placed on Iga to win the gold as the heavy favorite definitely was going to be too much for her, and I was proven right. Qinwen played a phenomenal match, but she really didn't have to do much special in that opening set in particular because Iga was just so far off her game and very error prone. Iga hit just 5 winners to 16 unforced errors, which is very uncharacteristic of her, especially on the dirt. Meanwhile, Qinwen remained solid and steady with 6 winners to 6 unforced. Iga, as expected, took an extended bathroom break after dropping the opening set, which annoyed a few fans. The break definitely helped the pole as she came out in the second set much sharper and she found her range much better on that forehand, which is her most important shot. Zheng, meanwhile, started to falter on her serve and her forehand, which contributed to Swiatek racing out to a 4-love lead. With her having the double break, I was already thinking about the third set, but Zheng reverted back to how she played in that opening set, using heavy topspin on her forehand, which bounced higher and out of Iga's strike zone due to the clay. Then whenever Iga offered up a short reply, Qinwen attacked and just really made her pay. This is something that Coco kind of did a little bit as far as using the loopier forehand to Iga's weaker backhand to kind of get Iga out of rhythm. But Coco's forehand just simply is not a consistent, reliable attacking weapon like Zheng's is. So that's definitely something that maybe, we've been saying for Coco to work on and improve on herself. And side note for Coco, I definitely think that this is a huge missed opportunity now that her biggest op, Iga, was out of the tournament. But hey, you can't win them all, and hopefully this will be a learning experience for her. Anyways, back to the match. Zheng also did a great job of maintaining good depth on her shot to prevent Swiatek from both attacking and even drawing more errors from her Technifiber. Zheng made up the double break deficit and only dropped 1 more game the rest of the match to advance to the gold medal match. Iga haters came out in full force to celebrate this loss and were quick to highlight the poll for questioning Zheng's serve on match point before not even shaking the umpire's hand. Now, as expected, Iga broke down after the match when speaking to the media. Initially, she talked about how she felt that her backhand was a major weakness in the match, which Zheng completely exploited. Then another reporter asked her, she came back to her high level and you just couldn't hold your level from the beginning of the set. Is that what happened? Iga replied, the way this match went, that's exactly what happened. Well, basically, I just blew it. And then she burst into tears. This, quite plainly, is the toughest loss of Iga's career. It's no secret how much she wanted to win the gold, not only for herself and for her country, but also for her father, Tomas, who was an Olympian himself, who fell short at the podium while competing at the 1998 Games in the men's rowing event in Seoul. Iga also probably recognizes that this was perhaps the best opportunity for her to take the gold, with the Games being held on clay, her favorite surface by far, and at her most successful tournament side, Roland Garros. Not to mention, nobody else in this tournament had won a slam, so she had the most experience by far amongst the remaining ladies players. But even a mental force like Swiatek is not immune to the pressure. And she showed that in the Tokyo 2021 Games, where she kind of broke down in tears even before losing her second round to Paula Badosa. The Olympics clearly mean a lot to her, and I think that that's because of the sentiment with her father, like I mentioned earlier. I think that Iga can for sure win the gold eventually, even though the next few games in LA and Brisbane will be on the hard court. She's won a plethora of big titles on that surface on hard court, and I think it might even help her because she'll likely be less of a favorite there too. There's also the possibility that Iga could be like Novak Djokovic and just doesn't end up with a medal. It's still very much early in her career though, and she's only 23, so I think that we should hold out, and at least until the next games before coming out with those more clear comparisons. But it's still interesting nonetheless. I also think that Iga's fans were just being way too hard on her. She is human and she needs a break. It was only one bad match and she still had an incredible season. She's won 50 plus matches, barely lost. I think she's only lost like 5-6 times. So definitely nothing to hang her head about. And, you know, it's understandable too, considering the pressure, as I mentioned, that she was under. And Zheng, even though she had never beaten Iga before this match, it's no pushover either. She's literally the 7th ranked player in the world. Anyways, Iga's tournament is not done. She'll be a favorite to take the bronze against Slovakia's Anna-Karolina Schmiedlova tomorrow. Schmiedlova's incredible road to the semis, which included wins over Beatrice Haddad, Maia, Jasmine Paolini, and Barbora Krejcikova, ended versus Donna Vekic, as the Croatian earned a convincing 6-4, 6-love win. I'm so happy for Donna for real, because if you're familiar with her story, you'll know that she was close to actually calling it quits and retiring in May because she was not happy with her results. Now, within the span of 3 weeks, she made the women's semifinals and will compete in the Olympic gold medal match, and she completely deserves it, especially with all the injury setbacks that she has had to endure. And then Qinwen Zheng, she has had an unbelievable road to the final, first saving a match point and recovering from a set and a breakdown to beat Emma Navarro in the 3rd round, and then in the quarterfinals she recovered from 1-4 down to retire Angelique Kerber, and then she managed to be the world #1 on clay for the very first time in one of the biggest matches of her career. So for sure this would be a tournament to remember for the Chinese woman. It's also important to note that Zheng has struggled a lot with form since she made the Australian Open final earlier this year, and I think that winning that title in Palermo a week before the Olympics started helped a lot. Zheng and Vekic have played twice in their career. Donna won their first meeting, which was at the 2021 Coria Mayor Open with a score of 7-6, 6-2, but Qinwen got revenge in front of her home crowd at the Zhuhai WTA Elite Trophy last year, winning that one 6-4, 6-7, 6-4. I think this would be a tight one for sure, and I think both women will have their own respective edges. I do think Vekic has been the more solid of the two, and that forehand will be the biggest shot out there on the court for sure. Donna also has not had to spend as much time on court compared to Zheng, although I don't know if it would be as much of a factor considering how she's an incredible athlete, and she will be aided by an extra day of rest as the finals won't be played until Saturday. Vekic has had a bad reputation though, for choking in the big moments, and this will be by far her biggest career match. Zheng, meanwhile, has played in a slam final this year and is a bit more accustomed to playing a match of this magnitude, although she did not bring her best tennis against Aryna Sabalenka in Melbourne, but I do think that experience will help her tremendously in this match. I do not see this one being one-way traffic at all for either player, because both of these women are very streaky, and we've seen that throughout the entire tournament too. I think this will ultimately come down to who will handle the occasion the best of getting that gold medal. Both will be playing for history, as both Donna and Qinwen will be the first women to win the women's singles gold for their respective countries, China and Croatia. I think that I will be going with Vekic to take this one because, again, I think that she is the slightly better player at the moment. Plus, I am fearful that Zheng will have a letdown after all these grueling big wins, namely beating Iga. I just see Donna biting the medal on the podium for Croatia, and I think that this will be her big defining career moment. So I have Vekic taking this one in 3 sets. Now on the men's side, our semifinalists are set, although one is a bit in doubt. That's none other than Novak Djokovic, who has reached his 4th Olympic semifinal after sending Stefanos Tsitsipas packing by a score of 6-3, 7-6. It was smooth sailing for the Joker until the start of the 2nd set, when he said that he felt pressure or sharp pain in his right knee that stayed with him for 3 or 4 games. Djokovic took anti-inflammatory meds, which helped him escape deficits of being love 4 down and 3-5 love 40 down in the 2nd set before closing out that match in just over 2 hours. Man, how the hell Did Tsitsipas choke that match? Dang. Anyways, Djokovic was obviously happy with the win, but he expressed his concerns about his health ahead of his semifinal against Italy's Lorenzo Musetti, who defeated the defending gold medalist Alexander Zverev 7-5, 7-5. I am very worried, honestly. I don't know what to say, Djokovic told the AFP. I finished the match and the intense pain went away. Whether I hit myself or I slipped, I still don't know. It resembled the fourth round of Roland Garros, where I managed to finish the match and then I found out I was injured. I am pleased with the victory, but I am worried. I'm concerned about the state of the knee. I can't give you exact information because I don't have it. I have to go and examine the knee now with my physio and with the medical staff of the tournament, and then let's see. I'm playing at 7 tomorrow, which gives me slightly more time, but I'm hoping I can be ready. Obviously, the anti-inflammatory pills that I got also helped, but you know, that effect is going to fade away tomorrow morning. Those are worrying comments from Novak, especially when you consider how he made similar comments after beating Francisco Cerundolo in the fourth round at Roland Garros before ultimately pulling out of his quarterfinal against Casper Ruud the following day. Musetti, too, is playing great tennis right now, and he can capitalize on an injured Djokovic, I think. His run to the semifinals, Musetti's, is incredible when you consider how he had to play the Umag final in Croatia. He lost that and then traveled to play the Olympics the next day to play his first round match. Like, that's unbelievable. It's just been an awesome summer for the Italian, too, as he made the finals in both Queens and Umag, and then the semifinals of Wimbledon and now the Olympics. I wouldn't be surprised if we did not see Novak take the court at all, but of course I hope that that's not the case. I think Djokovic is going to do everything in his power to try to come out and play, especially with this perhaps being his last Olympic Games in singles at least, and his last great opportunity to get that elusive gold medal in the singles. Meanwhile, Felix Auger-Aliassime and Carlos Alcaraz headline our other semifinal match. Felix made life much harder than it needed to be for himself after squandering multiple opportunities to finish this match out in straight sets, including a match point. But still, I commend him for showing good composure to send the two-time Roland Garros finalist Casper Ruud packing by a score of 6-4, 6-7, 6-3 to put himself in contention to win a singles medal. Carlos Alcaraz, meanwhile, barely survived American Tommy Paul in straight sets with a final score of 6-3, 7-6. This will be a tough ask for Felix to beat Carlos. Even though the head-to-head between the pair is tied at 3 apiece, Carlos won their last 3 meetings, and including their last affair at Roland Garros just 2 months ago, which he won convincingly 6-3, 6-3, 6-1. FAA, though, could have the edge in knowing that he is not the favorite at all to win this, so I think that there's a chance for him to at least grab a set, but I will be sticking with the superior Spaniard to take this one in 3 sets. And then the last big story of the day is, of course, Andy Murray officially playing his last ever professional tennis match after he and his compatriot Dan Evans fell to the American pairing of Taylor Fritz and Tommy Paul 6-2, 6-4 in the men's doubles quarterfinal. This is definitely the end of an era for sure, but the 37-year-old has had an incredible, excellent career to be proud of that includes 3 slams, being world number 1 for, I believe, 40 plus weeks, and then he held 2 consecutive gold medal singles titles, which is a feat that no other man has done ever. The Brit has had his fair share of injuries, namely when he underwent hip surgery in 2019 and was close to retiring, but he still grinded it out on the tour and managed to win 1 more title, but he just could never really remain healthy in order to go deep in some of those tournaments, and he also was impeded by just brutal draws. Murray's legacy will definitely be his fight, of course his excellent tennis too, and the tough Big Three era of Nadal, Djokovic, and Federer, as well as his character and his advocacy for women's tennis. He will be missed but never forgotten, especially after the LTA announced that the center court of the Queen's 500 tournament where Andy played his final singles match will be renamed the Andy Murray Arena in his honor. I hope to see Andy around, just still giving his insights into the sports, maybe commentating, but regardless, just happy retirement, Andy, and I hope you enjoy the rest of whatever life has in store for you. Really quick, focusing back on the Olympics, we have a chance for an all-American gold medal match in the men's doubles as Austin Krajicek and Rajiv Ram already progressed to the finals. That's it for this video, and let me know in the comments if you think this was Iga's big missed opportunity for winning the gold medal, or do you think that she will get that one medal one day? Speaking of elusive gold, will Novak Djokovic even take the court and compete for the medal? Again, make sure you subscribe and click the notification bell so you know notified whenever I post more Olympics content. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see y'all next time here on Christian's Court.